Facing partners, keep tension. And right, down out, tag now, right 10. Right hand goes out. Thank you for making me better. All right, we want to spend a couple quick minutes, so we're going to huddle up and just have a seat. Sir. I want to talk to you guys today about a very important martial arts character trait. We want to talk about compassion today. How many of you guys have heard what's going on in Japan? Most everybody, right? Some pretty awful stuff. So, we want to start working, and what we talk about is our general compassion. And a friend of mine, Tom Callis, has been a martial arts instructor for 25, 30 plus years, if we can tell how old he is. But definitely has a very great insight on how to think about things. And so he sent us a video, and it got me thinking a lot. And so I wanted to share what he did, or what he spoke about to us with you guys. So we talk about compassion is something that you hear, but it's not always easy to define or understand. And so what I really liked is the way he broke it down, and it made a whole lot of sense. If Tyler and I are best buddies, right, and we're hanging out, and we're standing next to somebody, and let's say Adrian, just by chance, is the bad guy in this scenario, decides to come up and start punching Tyler. Okay? Being his best friend, do you think I'm going to help protect him? Okay?
Yeah.
Would you help protect him?
Yes, sir.
All right, that makes sense. Right? So that's showing compassion for my friend because I'm not going to let him get hurt. But now where the story starts to become a little bit more interesting is, let's say I'm not standing next to Tyler, and the same thing happens. Let's say I'm standing over here. Well, now it's kind of away from me. Do you stand here and say, well, I'd help you, but you're over there, so never mind? What would you do? Right? You'd step back over here and you do the same thing. You'd help protect your friend. All right? Well, what if we were outside and you looked inside the window and you saw that? Would you just walk by?
No.
And say, well, I'd help you, but you're inside, I'm outside, never mind.
No, sir.
Right? What would you do? You'd come inside and help protect your friend. Right? Or tell an adult, which would be the same. So that's what we're talking about. It's very good, Haley. It's not always that you have to jump in and say, oh, I'm going to fight you instead. It's going to be, hey, something's wrong here. I'm going to go tell an adult, or I'm going to go get some extra help, or I'm going to call somebody, whatever the situation might be. But what happens is something like what's going on in Japan happens, and everybody starts thinking, well, that's a whole other country. That's the other side of the world. I don't know anybody in Japan. That doesn't affect me. All right? So one of the things that we try to teach in martial arts is not just having close compassion, but seeing how wide you can spread that compassion. So if you think you can be compassionate about people in Japan, do you think you're pretty well set up? It doesn't get much farther than Japan, does it? But what starts to happen again is people think that it's a whole other issue. It doesn't involve me, is what we hear a lot. I don't know anybody in Japan. I don't ever go to Japan. I don't ever want to go to Japan, so it doesn't affect me that way. Right? But let's say the situation was reversed and all that stuff happened here.
Yeah, you never know.
Would you hope that people in Japan would help us?
Sure.
So who has to start that, us or them? We do. Right? And now when we talk about compassion, actually one of the things that people talk about with the disaster that's happening is, well, they need money. They need food. They need this other stuff. And everybody goes, well, gosh, I don't have money. Right? Who thinks that they can do something to help the people in Japan? Something could be anything. It could be give $1. Right? It could be write a card. Right? It could be tell other people that, hey, we're doing this thing. So a couple of the students were asking if we were going to do something as a school to help with Japan. And it kind of surprised me because, number one, we already have. Right? And number two, there's so many causes that you can be part of that I don't think we need to be another specific one, but I definitely encourage and would like to see all of you guys do something. So like we said, even if you can raise $1, that's $1 more than they had before. Right? Heard of the concept, pay it forwards? A couple of people? Pay it forwards basically means in order for nice things to happen to you, you have to be nice first. And a lot of people miss that point. They think, well, when people start being nice to me, then I'll start being nice to them. Everybody walks around with their real sourpuss faces and upset all the time. Right? So we're going to be working on our compassion. And so So I would like you to tell me next Friday, what were you able to do to show some compassion? Could be all the way to Japan, but it could also be right here in our neighborhood. Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, super. Everybody stand up on your feet. Yes. Great job today. Skeet, back to attention. And it says in your head, dismiss! Great job. One step closer.